All right, guys. Hey, it's CarGuy11 here doing the first live stream ever. So just trying to get this thing to work, and then I'm going to connect some friends, and we'll do some car talk. But welcome. And in the meantime, you can post questions in the chat in the live stream. I'm going to try to make sure we see those. Let's see. There's no viewers. Hopefully this is broadcasting. There we go. Let's see. Okay. I think we're live. Yeah.
If you've been looking around for the best deal on the A119 dash camera.
All right, here we go. All right, guys. I think we're live. Let me know. Let me know if you can hear and see it. Okay. We're going to be connecting a couple friends in to do some car talk, but hopefully we can see a chat. Let's see if anyone's watching, if they want to comment something. Let's see here. All right, I posted something in the chat. Hopefully it's able to be read on YouTube, but I don't. Try to find a YouTube feed here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I don't see any comments, but all right, guys. Anybody want to comment? Just to let me know if you guys can hear this. And
I'm here.
Tom Gear is here.
Hey, sorry.
All right, there you go. I see you. I'm just not sure if anyone can post comments because I don't see any comments, but that's okay. Waiting for AutoNut, but in the meantime, I think we have a couple viewers, it looks like.
Nice.
So, and if you guys out there, you want to comment, just let us know if you can hear and see okay. It's going to be a three-way live stream, so it's a lot for my internet. But
I'm laughing because you said three-way.
But anyway, guys, if you haven't signed up for the giveaway of the LED cube lights, don't forget to do that because I'm probably going to give those away this week. So,
I want some.
well, you don't have a Jeep to put them on any longer. But yeah, I'm probably going to do that this week, guys. So definitely put in your entry. It's very easy to comment on the video. It's my last video. Comment your Instagram name and your feedback on the channel. So pretty easy to do. And yeah, I'll be doing the giveaway live on Instagram Live. So keep an eye out on Instagram this week. I'll let you know when, but I'm thinking it's probably going to be early this week. So definitely keep an eye out for that. So hopefully we're going to get comments. Oh, there we go. There's Harris. All right, cool. Now I see some comments here. Yeah, all three of us that are going to be on this live stream have or had Jeeps. So
Some multiple times.
yes. So they're fun. Definitely good for winter vehicle. And
well, CarGuy11 doesn't have a real Jeep today. He used to have a real Jeep. The only thing that he has that's considered a Jeep today is the 7-slotted grille, and it says Jeep on it. Other than that, it's a lifted Fiat.
but it's a good compromise because I can also I can put some miles on it and doesn't beat you up. So, and it can still handle some off-roading. So
yeah. Let's get a comment going. Who has the best chandelier / ceiling fan? Is it CarGuy11 or me? I don't like how it points up at the ceiling, but I can't help it.
all right. Do you see comments there, Tom? Here?
No, I don't know. Where am I looking at comments?
It's showing on the YouTube live stream. You have to go on YouTube and open up another window. So
okay.
So I'm gonna actually put a dual screen here. So. But anyway, guys, as I said, do the giveaway if you want to win those LED lights. They're pretty cool. And what else channel news wise did I want to say? Oh, we're going to be going to Detroit, actually, the three of us on this chat.
Well, we should live from Detroit.
Well, we'll see how that goes because, again, the internet thing. But, yeah, we can definitely be posting video and Instagram pictures, all that kind of stuff. So definitely be on the lookout for that. We're going to be going I think the 12th of January, which is before the public show and after the media days. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a media pass this time, but we're going for the industry preview days.
We're not important enough is basically what he's saying. We're not important or loved, so we have to spend $100 to be with the other media people.
Our buddy Subaru WX fan got into the media day, so that's pretty cool, but not big enough for that yet, I guess.
Man, do I look pale. I got to go tanning, I think.
Mr. Vanity over there.
Yeah. I did shave this morning.
You did?
I did.
Doesn't look like it.
I got down here.
But anyway, let's see. Anyway, guys, yeah, comment who's on. I see Harris for sure. How you doing, Harris? I'd like to know who we have here. We got a few on. 4, I think, so far. So, but
What are we talking about?
Anybody watch Grand Tour last night? I saw part 1. I didn't see part 2.
Likewise.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's getting better. There was like the first one was good. I don't think the second one I liked. It's like been up and down, but I think it's getting better. What do you think, Tom?
I mean the second one.
The second episode, I didn't like.
Yeah, they. I think they're. Here's how I explain it. If you go back and you look at old school Top Gear starting in 2002, the first couple seasons were rough. In fact, they didn't even have James May to the 3rd season. And after they got James May and they got a momentum going, they got a good feel for each other. They really got good, and the shows I still go back and watch and rewatch many, many times. So I think it's going to be the same, with the Grand Tour, where they're going to need to get a feel for the new format. They're also kind of being limited in the things they do because they're being watched by the BBC, and they got to be careful about certain things so they don't get sued, unfortunately, which is ridiculous. But no, there certainly have been some episodes where I was just like, this is dumb, and there's been some episodes where I've laughed my ass off. But I haven't seen the second part of the Christmas special, whatever. The first part was pretty cool. I actually wouldn't mind getting a dune buggy and doing that myself, but we'll see.
Yeah, the special, it's pretty good. I do wish they would test more cars. They only did, well, they did have the Mustang. Was that last week?
Yeah.
But
I see.
we got Autonut. We got looks like Autonut, but no picture yet. Just he should be coming online here. By the way, Tom Gear does have a YouTube. Tom Gear is his YouTube name, so if you haven't seen it, although he doesn't post much.
YouTube and I fight occasionally. I should say people of YouTube. You got
put it this way: he films, but he doesn't edit and post.
I have content for years, quite literally. The problem is that time is an issue, but also I have an issue with the anonymous people of the internet leaving certain comments that are just completely uncalled for. So I may disable comments. That's a possibility.
That's not fair.
But I see. There's a question for me. You have a Mustang GT, right, Tommy, and an MR2. Actually, I have that and some more. So I'm sure we're gonna get into that into some detail. But yeah, I do have a 2015 Mustang GT Performance Pack, and then I also have a 2000 Toyota MR2, which was actually reviewed by Subaru WRX fan back in I think that was last year. It was last year.
Yeah.
I did. So last week I had 6 cars, 6 vehicles, I should say. This week I have 5 because I ended up selling one, and next week I probably will have 4, which I'm sure we'll get into the reasons for that. So.
Oh yes, and someone asked me on Instagram to talk about my Mustang crash. So I don't know if they're on, but I will talk about it because I never really explained what happened. But I only had the car 8 days, and I was still in the break-in period. I was driving home on one of the highways outside of Pittsburgh, and all the roads in Pittsburgh they're not straight. There's hills, there's curves. Like you really won't find a straight road here. So it was a highway, and it was going around a bend about 55 mile an hour. Again, I was on braking, so I wasn't really pushing the car. And I was in the center lane. It was a 3-lane highway. And the guy on the inside lane was drunk. It was a second DUI, and he was swerving, and he swerved and hit into the front of my car, the driver's side front, and he hit into me pretty hard and pushed me basically straight when it was a left-hand turn, so straight into a guardrail. I slammed into the guardrail, and then the car flipped over and landed on the roof. And yeah, it was pretty bad. So totaled the car, almost totaled me. The guy was the police came. He got taken away, and it was again a second DUI. So it was pretty bad. He didn't have his license. It wasn't his car. He was borrowing a friend's car. So yeah, it was pretty bad. And after that, I was like, well, I really wanted a Corvette, and I was figured I'd get the Corvette later in life, and I decided to get the Mustang, and yeah, didn't have the Mustang a week, and it was gone. So I was like, you know what, life's too short. I just went for the Corvette the next time.
What we should mention here is during this entire time, I was talking to him. We were actually on the phone prior to the accident. I forget what we were trying to plan. I think we were trying to meet up the next day or whatever for something. I don't know, or maybe even that evening. But all of a sudden, I just heard all this noise, almost like static. And what that actually was him sliding a couple 100 feet on his roof. So
Yeah.
The phone call got because I think I was in my garage. I was definitely in my garage wiping down my Corvette or something, and I thought, oh, I got a bad signal or something, and then all of a sudden I hear like beep beep, like the horn going off, and it was the Mustang. So I guess Auto Nuts having some issues connecting here. But anyway, so I'm like, what is that? Are you still there? Or is that, what's that noise? And he's like, oh, somebody hit me. I'm upside down. And I'm like, holy crap. And I ended up flying, and I got in my truck and flew down the highway. Now, keep in mind where I was at compared to where he was at was probably 45, 50 minutes away. Hey, sleepyhead.
Sorry, guys.
There he is.
My God. It looks like a rough morning there in Chicago.
Yes, it is.
Yes, I don't know. That's called Chicago.
Or it was a very good morning in Chicago, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink.
No, not lately.
And he's
Weather was a big diaper storm this morning.
he's an hour earlier.
We're just quickly recapping the infamous now Mustang crash. But anyways, yeah. So I hopped in my truck, and I was flying down the highway, and I was like, Marco, stay on the phone. I'm gonna put you on hold. And
you called
I called 911, and I got on the phone with the police and said, I was on the phone with my friend. He got hit by someone. He's upside down. Here's where he's at roughly. Yeah, we're on our way. So I switched back to him, and he was still upside down in the car. And all of a sudden, I started hearing like noise, like shouting. here the drunk bastard got out of his car and was trying to break into his car, the Mustang, and he could hear me over the speakers, and I could hear him, and he starts yelling at me through the Bluetooth, and he's like, cussing and swearing and screw you, man, and I don't care, bring the cops, like this completely belligerent.
Like,
and
I've been through this.
I'm yelling back at him because I've got a temper, and we ended up getting disconnected, and Terry disappeared. So I ended up getting from my house, which is like 45 minutes away, to like where he was with the Mustang in like 15 to 20 minutes. I mean, I was flying. It helped that it was fairly late at night. I mean, I'm not going to say how fast I was going because this is live on YouTube and I don't know who would be watching, but I maxed my truck out on the interstate. So I was doing pretty good, but yeah, it was crazy. It was definitely a crazy night. And what's even crazier is the fact that I was in that same exact area for business in my Corvette, not even 40 minutes prior. I mean, I literally was on the opposite side of the highway going back home, and if I had been delayed, 30, 40 minutes, I potentially could have actually witnessed the whole thing happening. So it's just very, very bizarre. But yeah.
Yeah, it's not a fun thing for sure, but I don't know. I got the Corvette and happy with that now. So
In your health, I mean, it could have been a lot worse, as they always say, right?
absolutely. So I was blessed for that, and walked away. Didn't lose any money in the car. In fact, I gained money with lawsuits and everything. So,
which is rare. I mean, most of the time people get pretty screwed over, when those kind of things happen. Luckily, didn't happen to you.
Right. All right. So anyway, let's introduce Autonut here. He has a YouTube channel as well. Again, doesn't post all too often, but
I'm starting to do a little bit more.
I've got more subscribers than Auto.
He posts more than Tom Gear. And
by the way,
he has the,
I'm not wearing any pants.
Thanks for that.
You just ruined my intro with that.
Look how nice my shirt is. I'm even wearing a nice undershirt.
Now the few people that were watching quit. Dropped out.
But yeah, Autonut has the Pontiac GTO, and also he has a lifted Wrangler TJ. So the real Jeep, as Tom Gear says.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, Terry, you missed it. I was explaining that what CarGuy11 actually has is not a Jeep. It is a lifted Fiat, and the only thing that even closely resembles a Jeep is the 7-slotted grille with the Jeep logo.
Yeah,
that's about it.
But it holds its own.
Oh, he has some graphics on the window too, windshield.
Oh, and I got my light bar. So.
And he got tow hooks. Gonna need those.
Yeah.
And I got my tow bar.
That he went off-roading with.
That was a good video. Guys, check out that video. You could also check out the Mustang crash. That was one of my first YouTube videos if you haven't seen it. So.
I don't think I have any video of when I did the Jeep Jamboree and had when that Trailhawk first got introduced. Remember I told you about that? It was before you were, I think you were looking into it at the time. And
right.
To a Jeep Jamboree and beat the living crap out of that thing. There wasn't like one body panel in there. It wasn't all dented up and everything. They just did a great job on it. And they were surprised. They said, if you don't mind, just grinding over rocks and stuff, it kept going. They didn't have to pull it out. It was actually quite surprising, but it definitely took its punishment.
which is a very big contrast to the CarGuy11, where when I went off-roading with him one time, I literally had to break every stick and branch we came across.
Don't
with
want
my bare hands.
And now,
Because he was afraid of it touching his pants. I was this close to just driving through the shit to like just level it with my Jeep. I was literally getting thorns and stuff stuck in my gloves, and it was freezing out. Like it was hilarious.
yeah, that's off.
and now you
What's
What's
that?
that?
now you're Jeepless.
Yeah, you know what though?
You get into your stories yet, or what's going on?
What?
You get into your stories yet? What's going on with all your vehicles?
No, we have not. That's a bit of a long story. I want to address a comment here first though from Harris. He says, "Didn't he stall your vet?"
Oh yeah,
So technically,
yes, he did multiple
yes, I
times.
did. Technically, yes, it did. However, what the reason it stalled was I didn't realize the stupid electronic brake, e-brake on the C7 stay engaged. So I let off the clutch without pressing the gas, and when you do that, it doesn't disengage the brake. CarGuy11 here said, don't manually disengage it, it'll disengage itself. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, we were actually on a level parking lot. I was, no, seriously. It was a level parking lot. Why the hell do I need to give it gas to start moving? So I just let up off the clutch, and the brake held. And of course, what's going to happen is you let off and it holds it and then it stopped. So yeah, it did happen. But the point here is a sports car, especially one with a pedigree like a Corvette, should not have a e-brake like a freaking Cadillac. My mother's Cadillac has a electronic e-brake. It's supposed to be for luxury.
It's save space and weight.
Oh my God. Because I handle
Tom, you know how I'm on the same page with that. I mean, especially for sports cars and stuff, but that's just the way it's going to be, unfortunately, and it sucks because that's just the way they want it to be. They want everything to be electronic. And I mean, it's not even an emergency brake anymore. It's a parking brake. So you don't have
to see that video on YouTube. Someone pulled the e-brake to see what it does. It does actually slow it down. It doesn't lock it up. It'll slow the car down. It's pretty cool. I don't mind it too much because I can get the point of the sports car thing, but like in the Jeep, it's awesome because it puts it on by itself. You put it in park, it puts the brake on. You put it in drive, you drive away, it releases it.
You know what a Jeep is supposed to be? A Jeep is supposed to be.
I got a good one of this.
Manual windshield wipers, manual window winders, manual transmission, and a manual transfer case engagement where you actually hear it go clunk when you pull it. Not a knob that goes, oh, you're in 4 high. Oh, now you're in 4 low. Right, you got to actually feel the cogs engaging. That's a Jeep. That's a real vehicle, which is why, and I know I'm going on a rant here, but which is why this is the last great decade for cars.
Yeah.
Which is why I have a hard time selling vehicles. But some vehicles are very easy to come by, so like a Jeep.
Yeah. Now it's definitely evolving into different things. I mean, we just have to understand. I mean, there's some good things about it, and there's some bad things. I mean, I'm old school like you, Tom. I appreciate the mechanical things, and I like to. It's more interactive. It's more driver experience. I mean, but they got to slowly ramp everybody up to full autonomy. I mean, one thing after another, keep taking control away, right?
Oh yeah, let's talk about this. I drove Tesla this week, a Model X.
Terrible.
Went to a Tesla store in Pittsburgh, which is in the mall, and I was a little disappointed they wouldn't let me film or anything, but I took a couple of pictures, so I posted that on Instagram. But pretty cool car. There's a lot of tech that's new and interesting, and the autonomous part is really awesome. I only tested it on. It was a busy highway, not a high-speed highway even, but it did good. I mean, I was impressed. It was pretty damn cool. I mean, stop, turn. I mean, brake. and we come to a complete stop, and then the cars start moving again, and the car starts moving again. So it's pretty wild. I didn't get a whole lot of time to mess around with it, but that's definitely cool. But every car is going to have that, so eventually. So I mean, that's not something I would say to buy a Tesla for, because like I said, everyone's going to have that. The car itself, though, is very fast with these electric motors. I mean, it's instant torque. So that's pretty cool as well. But the downsides, the car itself is not worth the 120 or 30,000, whatever it is. It does not ride that well. It's not put together that solidly. I mean, it just doesn't feel that solid of a vehicle, in my opinion. And I wasn't that impressed with the vehicle itself. So the tech in it is pretty damn cool, and that's what they spent the money on. But again, all these car companies are going to have that in the future, and everything's power. The doors, every door in that thing opens and closes by itself. That's pretty cool. But
No.
But yeah, at this point, I'm not going to spend that much on it. The technology is just going to get so much better. But I wanted to see how it was, and
Terrible.
Pretty.
One thing I do, I expect more gizmos and more things for that kind of money. I don't know why, but yeah, there's some little things like the doors and stuff, but I expect it to be pretty crazy. I mean, you compare it to like a loaded S-Class. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff on there that it doesn't have.
Terry, I'm so sorry. I just can't stop laughing. I just want to thank you right now for not washing your hair this morning, because it looks fabulous. It looks great.
My hair.
Yeah, you're taking a page out of my book. We're showering for YouTube. Yeah, I actually had to recline back because my hair is getting so tall. It's going out of the frame.
This is actually my natural pillow head. So like when you let it one side lay on the other, and I can't get rid of it until I can sort of push it to the side. There you go.
That's fantastic. Now, so here's my opinion on the Tesla. So I have an engineering background. I think, and I've always been obsessed with technology. I think that the technology perspective, it's cool, and I can appreciate that. But personally, looking at it from it being a vehicle, I will never own one, because the whole point for me of owning a vehicle is the experience of driving it, the sensations you get from changing gear and steering and the feel of the vehicle. If you're letting the car drive you, what's the point? I mean, yeah, there's benefits if you work, and eventually these things are going to become so good where you can really let the thing drive you, and you can get work done while you're traveling to place to place or whatever, or if you want to sleep. But that's not the point of driving for me. I don't drive just to get around. I drive for the experience. I drive for enjoyment.
Wow.
I get a lot of pleasure out of driving.
Absolutely, and as I said, it's not a great driving car when you actually do drive it. Aside from the torque, the instant torque is, I mean, it's amazing, and the traction control and the stability control is going off, and it's like, although it had snow tires on it, so
Yeah,
maybe that was part of it.
There's no, but there's no talent involved with that. It's all computer driven. It's all just mash your foot down and let it do its thing.
And the other thing is, it has that regenerative braking. So as soon as you lift off the throttle, it brakes. I mean, you hardly even use the brake, which is, you've got to get used to that too, because you got to be on, and then as soon as you lift off, it's like braking. So you kind of have to almost keep your foot on the pedal, which I didn't really like that either. So
yeah, the other thing here too is the range, I think, is still needing to be improved, and lithium-ion technologies and new types of technologies that are going to increase that range is going to happen, and it's fine. And I often have this conversation with people, and Jay Leno said it best, was the electric car is going to do what the current automobile did for the horse back at the turn of the 20th century. We used horses and buggies to get around, and then the car came around and replaced the horse. But now the horse is used for recreation. And I think the electric car, the hydrogen car, whatever alternative kind of cars are going to come around, those types of cars are going to free up the automobile for recreational use. Now, with that being said, I'm going to be that stubborn old guy that's going to keep his old, quote unquote, old antique vehicles the rest of his life and refuse to adopt the newer technologies. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with like my daily driver having that tech, but I'd always want to be able to still drive on your own, like a sports car, Corvette, whatever. And I worry about the day when they're going to outlaw that and you only can drive yourself, like on a racetrack or something. So that's what I'm worried about.
I don't know the law, like how that could possibly work. If it does happen, I don't think it's going to happen in our lifetimes, quite honestly. I mean, I think we're quite a few decades away from.
But it's moving so quickly already. I don't know. It's definitely possible. And actually, there's a question here from Bits. Have we encountered any Uber autonomous vehicles in Pittsburgh? I have not, because it's in downtown Pittsburgh only. So, and I don't think Tom didn't work much downtown either, right? So
I have run into a couple of them. In fact, I took a few.
Haven't been in them or anything.
No, I haven't been in them. I took a few pictures of them though. They're cool. I mean, they're still obviously a driver. You get in. I guess
yeah, there's a driver
have and hands on the wheel or near the wheel.
I think there's two. There's an engineer monitoring the car, and then there's someone in the driver's seat ready to take over.
Yeah, there has to be someone in the driver's seat. And a little known fact, a lot of people don't realize this, but Uber's technology center is based in Pittsburgh. So there's a lot of development and innovation happening here in Pittsburgh. Now, apparently, they just expanded the autonomous vehicles to San Francisco, I believe. So we'll wait to see. Now, I wouldn't mind getting hit by an autonomous vehicle. I could use the money. I mean, it'd be nice. I don't know how that would play out, but it wouldn't be necessarily a bad thing to be hit by an autonomous vehicle.
I'm curious tonight how it's going to be with.
I think they're programmed to kill, though.
Yeah.
Depends on their program, right?
What I'm saying is, I can't imagine. I would think you'd have to go to court. That would most certainly probably go to court because it's such a unique.
That's why they're programmed to kill. They're not just going to hit you. If they hit you, then they're programmed to reverse and then go back over you, so they destroy evidence. The machines, they're coming to get us, Tom.
Yeah.
All right, there's another question. What do we do for a living? Well, I'm a mechanical engineer, and I work in the electric utility industry. So not with cars directly, but my company does make robotics for some of the auto manufacturers, which is why I get a discount for GM and Ford and Chrysler. So yeah, that's my background.
Yeah, so I have a background in computer engineering. I work for the largest IT company in the world. I won't mention their name, but I'm sure if you did a quick Google, you can quickly figure that out. But I'm basically in a technical sales role, so do a lot of technical work, a lot of designing and architecting stuff, but also kind of in a sales role. So it's what I do now. Before that, I was more of a field engineer, so I was hands-on working with technology. Believe me, I make no money on YouTube. So, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I know that there's people out there that literally their entire income is YouTube. And, you know, we have a friend that, you know, that's his work. But for most people, especially people that are late to the game, and when I say late to the game, I mean late to YouTube, it is extremely hard to make a proper living on YouTube. And for me, the time investment, it's just not worth it. You know, I make far more money actually doing what I do for a living and what I went to school for versus doing something freelance that, you know, would eat up a lot of my time and not equate for nearly enough of, you know, compared to what I make now. So it's something that I started to do for fun. And I kind of
after I started my channel.
Well, correct, but you had wanted me to start one because you wanted to collaborate.
Hey, technically, I was first.
And
I guess that's true. But I mean, the thing that kind of bothered me about YouTube is you got some people out there that are just really cool, and you have the ability to network. You know, it's social media after all. But then you got the anonymous people of the internet that hide behind a keyboard and say things that no man or woman would ever say to another person's face, like hands down. I can't tell you how many examples.
I think that's you, Tom. I don't get that many bad comments.
Well, you know, I've got a certain kind of personality, but you know, I had one guy in particular that he said something like really personal. Like, I have no idea who this person is. This person can be anywhere, and he, for life of me, I can't remember what he said, but it was pretty personal, and it bothered me. And I replied back to him, and I said something like, you know, I value everyone's opinion, but what you said is inappropriate, and you should, you know, not say stuff like that online. You don't know what's going on in someone's personal life that may affect them in ways yeah, basically, I made him feel bad, you know, because words are powerful. You don't know what someone has going on in their personal life. And one thing can set somebody off. Now, personally, not me. It pisses me off, don't get me wrong. But it's not something like, oh, my God, that guy said something mean about me. I'm going to go hang myself. No, but there are people out there that have you know, emotional trauma or whatever, where, you know, if someone said something the wrong way to someone, they could potentially take that in a very negative way. Well, anyway, so I responded to this guy with this big, long, you know, comment reply, and he apologized. He sent me a message, deeply apologized, and actually he deleted the comment. So, but you got some people out there that just don't care, you know. And I get whatever, but you know, keep it light. You don't have to freaking attack someone on their opinion. You know, I'm not a journalist. I do this stuff for fun. I could care less what people think about me, clearly, but you know, it gets to a point where certain things it goes a little too far. So maybe eventually I'll pick back up on the YouTube, but I haven't made up my mind yet on that. I guess technically I did, because this is the first time I've been on YouTube since my last upload.
Yeah, I didn't know if you would do it or not, so that's good though. I'm glad you did. So back to Autonut. I don't know if you want to explain your background at all.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Before Tom went into that whole thing.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, so right now I started a new company, distribution and services company. Basically specialize in proprietary chemical additives for the plating industry. Everything from chrome plating, plating, things like that. And services for different, right now I'm helping out a couple circuit board shops for process engineering and quality engineering. Before that, I was working for a pretty big company that was also in the plating industry as a North America key account manager. So I had only a few jobs over the times, but yeah, obviously YouTube is definitely not type of income whatsoever. I don't even think I got $1 from YouTube, which I just do it for the heck of it. You know, it's pretty fun. Just to put a couple of videos. When first started it just to share videos with my friends. It was the easiest way. It was like, you know, yeah, absolutely. It was moved to Chicago, and I was like, oh yeah, I went off-roading, this and that. I have all this cool video, and it was like, well, how do you share? So I started off as a private account just so I could share some of the videos, and then started posting them more and more, and it can be pretty fun. It's just so time-consuming. I can't believe, like Tom was saying earlier, like these kids that do it for a living, people I don't think understand. I think other kids don't understand that they'll put like a whole week of editing together. I mean, editing sucks. No matter what software you have, it is just so time consuming to make it look half decent. Yeah. I'll put a couple hours into a video. Sorry, what's that?
These kids do almost daily and multiple times a week. It's crazy. I can barely keep up with one video a week.
Now, so. I should point out here that we're using the term kids. Yeah. We are old bastards, but some people are not kids. Let's be honest.
A lot of kids are like 40 years old, and
now there are some kids, and CarGuy11 seems to attract some of them. There's a particular 15-year-old kid that comes to mind, but
anyway, there's another question. Do you have insurance coverage while you're tracking your Corvette? And I see you got a 17 GS, which is really cool, great track car. No, it is an option to buy it for each track event, but it's very expensive, and it's only good usually for that one track event. I found that as long as you're reasonable, don't drive like Tom Gear. If you are, you know, not pushing your car to the limit, of course anything can happen, but I found that I'm willing to take the risk, not having it. But that's totally up to you. And like I said, it is very expensive. So I know Autonaut has bought it before because he was testing out different things on his car and didn't know how it was going to act. But I don't know. You guys can.
Tom, have you ever bought insurance for it before?
So I've looked into it. I track my Corvette and my Mustang. Now, I've looked into it for only one time, and it was pretty expensive. This is kind of my opinion on it. It's no different than, I mean, it's a little bit different, I guess, but you're really protecting yourself against other people, especially in a track environment. If you're going to be, I guess my thought process is that if you're going to be doing short, infrequent sessions, say like no more than 20 minutes, only 4 or 5 times within a day, you're probably okay getting away without getting the track insurance. Now, you're right, anything can happen at any given time. But I think, you know, you obviously increase your chance of something happening the longer the session and the longer into the day you go, whether it's you getting tired or you wearing your tires, wearing your brakes, or the people around you also getting tired and their characteristics of their car changing. I could tell you that I've had a couple close calls where I had actually this past year I was in my Mustang, and our local track is at Pittsburgh International Race Complex, and I was going down the main straight, and it was one of the passing zones where, you know, if someone points, you're allowed to pass them. And I was behind this 911. I mean, I was on him like, move out of the way. And I'm very impatient. And I'm a pretty fast driver, even though my cars aren't necessarily track-bred cars. They, you know, under certain conditions, and especially a good driver, I'm not saying I'm the greatest driver, but I'm pretty decent. They can hold their own. But, I mean, I was on this guy's ass, and he would not let me pass. I mean, we did an entire lap, and he would not let me pass. And we finally got to the main straight, and I'm like waving my hands, flashing my high beams, like, move out of the way. So we're halfway down the straight, and he finally points me. Well, okay, I go to pass him. So when you go to pass someone, the person that you're passing, he's supposed to let off. Well, no, this guy stays in it. I mean, I'm redlining my Mustang, and I finally pass this guy, and I'm like looking in my mirror to make sure I'm not gonna freaking hit him, and I'm not paying attention to what's coming in front of me, and before I know it, I'm coming up to the first turn, which is a pretty good left, and I could not slow down in time. I was going about 130. I stood on my brakes, and I've got, that Mustang has awesome Brembos that they were like non-existent at 130. I mean, it was almost like I had no brakes at all. I was standing on them with all my might. ABS was going crazy. I ended up blowing straight through the turn, went into the grass, spun the car, and the guy ended up passing me, and I got black flagged, and I had to get out and be basically yelled at.
You want to see that video, Tom Gear, at some point on YouTube.
Yeah, maybe in a few years I'll post it. But the point here is you're going to, like, when you're at track events, every track event I've ever been to, all the instructors always say, you're not in a race. But I will tell you personally that we are men. Bless you, Terry. We are men, and we men, most of us are competitive. And if I'm like that, chances are at least a couple other people are. And something will happen, or egos get in the way. So it's insurance, right? It's there to protect you. But at the same time, if you're very budget conscious, you probably shouldn't be tracking your car anyways. If you're really worried about your car, you probably shouldn't be tracking it, because that is so hard on a car. Anything can happen, you know. So it's a risk. It's a risk.
Yeah, going back to the insurance thing, I used the company called Lockton. There's a couple guys out there, but that's the one the SCCA recommends. You get a discount if you're a member. And it is expensive. The worst part, honestly, is the idea of, if you do have an accident, the what's that called? The
Deductible.
Yeah, the deductible. That's killer. It's 10% for whatever you want to insure the car for.
Yeah.
You insure it for $50,000. It's a $5,000 deductible, and then the per track it roughly comes out to 1%. So it's like, for a $50,000 car, you're going to pay almost $500. It's not linear like that. Like mine was, I insured the car for $28,000, and it came out like almost exactly 1%. It was like $280 for one track event. But I know some of the guys that had Porsches and stuff that were insuring for $100,000. They weren't. It wasn't $1,000. It was like $500 or $600. So it starts to. It's a gradient curve. But I'll tell you, you know, like CarGuy was saying. I used it for when I was changed my suspension, changed a lot of things. It was a completely new car, but I still wanted to be able to hustle it, because you have limited times where you can really get on the car when there's other people on the track. And so I was like, you know what, just better safe than sorry. And I bought it, and I'll buy it here and there. But I mean, like Tom says, if you're not willing to crash the vehicle, you probably shouldn't be out there. It sounds pretty weird, but you know, that's just a risk you take. You know, it's, if you're not willing to hurt yourself, you don't do dangerous things, you know, things like that. So that's what it is.
And, you know, if you just bought the GS and you have not done any track events before, I would recommend starting with autocross. Autocross is probably the best place to start if you've never been on a track before, because you can learn how the dynamics of your car. And actually, I posted a video this summer of me spinning out the Corvette. So turn everything off. Don't put the stability on, and you'll learn the limits of your car pretty quick on an autocross, and it'll be a safe place. You'll just hit a cone possibly, but yeah, that's the best place to start. And then work yourself up into a track event, but make sure you go with an instructor, because some track events give you an instructor, some track events don't. So I would recommend like HPDE where there's an instructor in the car your first time and can explain the details of the track, where to brake, where to turn, where to gas. And yeah, otherwise though, it's a great experience. I mean, I don't want to scare you away from it because it's awesome. And in particular with my Corvette, I feel like that's the most fun I have with it is on the track. Because on the street, I mean, you can't really explore the limits like you can on the track. So, but it's a great, fun, safe way to explore your car.
I would even argue that in some respects, autocrossing is more fun than track time. It really depends on your venue and who runs it and how much time you have. But there's something about having the ability to explore the limits of your car in a safe environment. I mean, you usually don't go over 40 or 50 miles an hour. And, you know, most people say, oh, well, that's not fun. Well, here's the thing. These courses are set up so tight that your car is really working hard to maintain control at those speeds going into a tight turn. And I actually think it's fun. I have such a blast when I autocross. I mean, I'm a little extreme, and I usually have a plume of smoke following me anywhere I'm going because I usually drift and do spin outs, and you know I just instead of, when you spin out autocrossing, you're supposed to let off the gas and let the car come to a controlled stop and then start up. Nah, I keep the gas mashed and the rear wheels are spinning, and you know it's just a blast, you know. So you can have fun, you can fool around. Now, that's not to say it's not possible to have something go wrong autocrossing. In fact, I had an incident happen where there was a different location I went autocrossing, and I won't go back to this place, but just so happened to be that these people that organized this had a this autocross event in a public park in this big open parking lot, and they closed it off. But the starting line for the autocross is next to a playground, literally each child's playground. Like it's just weird. Anyway, so you take off and then you go through the course, and then towards the end of the course, it always ends near this road. Now, just so happens to be that on this particular day, there was a charity cancer walk going on. Now, why the hell would you plan a autocross event during a cancer walk? Don't ask me. So anyways, I'm in my MR2, and I'm going around, and I'm making my way towards the end of the course, and I lost it. It's a mid-engine car, so it's not to be unexpected. I lost control. The car stalled, and I lost steering and brakes. And I ended up going straight towards the people that were in the cancer walk. And I was able to stop the vehicle, thankfully, before I hit anybody. But, I mean, I came close, and I ended up hitting a cone so hard that it was lodged up in my wheel well. And we almost had to take the tire off to get the cone out. And I had a guy come over yelling at me, and I'm like, dude, you know, why? First off, I said I lost control. I had no brakes, no steering. I ended up actually pulling my e-brake.
Always runs into these issues.
Yeah. So, make a long story short, I've never been there since. Now, I had another incident happen where at the place at the track we usually go to, they have an autocross area, proper autocross area, and it was in the rain. And I came very close to hitting a guardrail. I mean, it was close. And ironically, I was just talking to my neighbor a few days ago who autocrosses, and he witnessed a guy in a brand new Porsche Cayman hit a guardrail at the same autocross area. First run, cold tires. He was going too fast. He just lost it, and he lost it in such a way that he hit the guardrail. So not only did he have to pay for the damages to the guardrail, but he had to pay out of pocket to get his freaking Porsche fixed, which you know is not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So there's risk.
You're going to scare them all away. You're going to scare them all away. They're going to be afraid to go even autocrossing on time.
As I said before, just don't drive like Tom and should be okay.
I'm a
But
blast.
if you guys have any more questions, go ahead and post them. But in the meantime, I do want to bring up a couple car news things that I don't know if you guys have heard, but it's pretty interesting. So,
Do you have a time limit on the answers?
well, we're at an hour here, so we'll keep going a little longer here. But yeah, the first one I wanted to bring up
You got
is
11 people watching.
yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I kind of expected around that amount. So that's what I was thinking. And
Honestly, it's pretty fun. We don't get together enough to BS about cars and stuff anyway, you know?
right. So this is what car guys do. Fun. So anyway, did you guys hear about the new Mustang engine? And I don't know if Tom Gear heard about this.
Yeah.
4.8 liter. And it may be in the 2018 Mustang.
I thought that's a rumor.
Well, everything's a rumor at this point, but it's possible we'll see it in Detroit when we go in a week or so.
Do you think it's going to be introduced in just the F-150 to start in Detroit?
I don't know what the plan is. Ford only has one V8, so if it's going to be, they probably will change them all, the F-150 and the Mustang at the same time.
I doubt that.
What my thing is, I can't believe they're getting rid of the 5.0 again. I mean, they went through that with the 4.6, all that backlash. They brought it back. Everyone loved it. And now they're going away from 5.0 again. And it's only 0.2 liter less.
What's so special about this 4.8 liter?
Nothing. There's no, I was thinking possibly they reduced it because they're going to throw turbos on it, like a twin turbo EcoBoost V8. But from what was said is it's only naturally aspirated, and they are probably going to do direct injection. But still, why would they make it smaller displacement?
Maybe it's because there's some huge big flaw with the 5.0 that they're going to announce, and they're going to go out and swap out everyone's engines for free, and I'm going to be like, screw that.
Yeah.
My only thing I could think of is when they move to, because the other rumor is the direct injection along with multi-port, I believe, CarGuy?
No, both. They're going to have both.
So they're going to do both of them, and maybe they did a head cylinder redesign to fit all that crap and move things around, and they might have lost a couple cc's in the head chamber. And if they do that, then it might have technically came out to a 4.8.
Maybe they're still going to call it a 5.0 like they did.
Honestly, I agree, because that's a marketing thing. I mean, everybody knows the 5.0. If you look back, I mean, I always look at advertising. How much money did you advertise a name, like the name Mustang? You can't really get rid of the name Mustang, because there's hundreds of billions of dollars of advertising. You can go across overseas and say to some random country that never even had a Mustang there and say Mustang Ford, and they know it. It's like, so you can't go away from that. And the 5.0 is that same exact situation. It's so symbolic to the pony car, In
fact, the old 5.0 was 4.9 liter, and they called it 5.0. So
that's funny. That's right. It technically, because it was a 302.
So I wonder if they'll round up again 5.0, 2.0.
Yeah, I mean, look, the BMW and all those guys got away from having the exact numbers. When they first started changing the nomenclature. It was like the 3.5 was actually the 2.8 for a little while, and I don't know, it got a lot of bad feedback. But yeah, it'd be a shame if they got rid of the 5.0 in general. But it is what it is.
I'm really excited to see the 2018 Mustang in Detroit. See what changes, and I'm still interested in Mustang. I mean, I bought one, and I only had it for a week, so I could definitely see another Mustang in my life at some point. So. Always a car that I like, and I don't know, it appeals to me more than the Camaro. Since I have a Corvette, I think the Camaro with the same engine, I mean, I would just I'd rather have a Mustang, different engine, different styling too. So
yeah, the Mustang, I mean, I'm excited too. You know, I appreciate all cars. I love them. I love the looks of a Mustang. You know, I personally wouldn't own one, but that's just a choice. But I still love them, and I love seeing them. And I'm pretty excited to see what the new ones look like too.
And then also another bit of news, and I see Dan from New Jersey. Hey, Dan. I don't know if you guys heard this one. Did you hear about the LT5?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I didn't think you heard about this, odd enough, but there was another leak or on a GM service site or something listing an LT5 engine code, and you know what the LT5 is? It's the dual overhead cam V8.
Yeah.
And basically, they did that back when they had the North Star, and then they had the ZR1, old ZR1 dual overhead cam. And now they're listing it for a 2018 Corvette. So it could possibly be the ZR1 engine. They may use that, but I can't imagine them getting 650 to 700 horsepower. Although I think the displacement is still 6.2 liters, so that is a big engine. So it's possible they could get that much, or it will have a turbo on it.
I mean, the thing is, they can squeeze more horsepower. Like, let's say they do the dual overhead cam and stuff, then you can squeeze more horsepower out of it just because of the fact you can spin it faster, right? So what if they jump the red line up another 800 RPM, something like that, and squeeze some power and squeeze some power? I think that's a pretty probable thing. I wouldn't be surprised. Look, when you get over 6 figures on a Corvette, they're expecting something pretty different. You want to have bragging rights. Like, I have the new LT5 engine. It can't be just like a boosted up LT4. You know, I can't see that happening. So I think that's probably pretty reasonable. Like a dual overhead cam, something, and it could even have some sort of forced induction.
Yeah, and the other thing that it could possibly be is a Cadillac version of ZR1, which I know you would love. And
yeah, absolutely.
It will have a different engine. It will have the like the North Star had with the C5 Corvette version of the Cadillac.
Something's gonna happen around that whole thing. There's just too many rumors about, what they spent with that paint shop at the Bowling Green facility, and just there's so many things, and something's got to break soon. They've been talking about too much, and is there going to be a Caddy? Is there going to be a mid engine? There's just too much. So I'm pretty excited. Something's got to pop here.
So again, in Detroit next week, hey, it might come out. Maybe we'll have more details of it, and that's very interesting to me. Although I don't want to see a dual overhead cam LT engine.
Yeah.
I kind of like how it is, and I don't want them. I hate how GM kind of copies. Same with the ATS-V. They copied the BMW M3, M4 with the turbo V6 when they had such success putting a LS engine in that vehicle. And I think if they would have kept, they would have put the Corvette LT1 in the ATS-V, it would have sold better. Also, similar fuel economy and weight. I mean,
right. I think maybe the LT1 has had too many issues. Maybe it's going to be a replacement for the LT1.
I didn't know you were such a conspiracy. I didn't know you were such a conspiracy theorist. I mean, the 5.0, the LT1.
No, those engines are bulletproof. It's in every SUV and truck GM makes, hundreds of thousands of vehicles, so it has to be reliable. But again, I just did you hear that part, Tom? I don't know if you heard about you stepped out there, the dual overhead cam LT5.
No, I heard it.
You heard it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there, but
as long as they have an option of the old standard cam and block for now, you know what I mean? The dual overhead cam, it's fine as optional for ZR1 or whatever. I don't have problems with that personally.
I hope they put it in the Cadillac.
That's what I said.
That's a great idea. I would actually consider buying it.
It's possible they'll put it in a ZR1 version, Cadillac version. So Or possibly, yeah, some of these V series Cadillacs as well. Maybe that CT6 V, which isn't out yet. Maybe that'll have that engine. But
Yeah.
all right, I see I got some comments here. Oh, Ron Fellows, yes, that's a good. I did do the Ron Fellows school. It's definitely a good place to start learning track, and they do some autocross style drills before you hit the track.
God, don't get me started.
But Tom Gear almost got kicked out, of course.
Oh, I did not.
Because of his driving style. But
there was nothing wrong with my driving style. The problem was that I was the youngest person there, and these young instructors hated that. And I was, and so it's basically to follow the leader. Now I had fun. Don't get me wrong, but some of the stuff they had us do was like how to use the clutch. Okay, that's kind of dumb. Now, one of the things that happened was during the follow the leader on the track, I'm an aggressive driver. I admit that, but most of these men were older men, and they were very skittish, very scared of their cars, and they were being very conservative, hesitant, whatever. And then there's me, where I'm following the leader and I'm on his ass, like go faster, faster, faster. And maybe my braking wasn't all that efficient, but I think the instructors just didn't care for me in general. But I've reviewed the footage. Let's just say that, and I took video inside and out. I cannot tell what I did wrong. Huh?
It could be on YouTube. It could be on YouTube.
It could be on YouTube, and it would be a hilarious video because I'm like, what the hell did I do wrong? And then the other problem was these damn cars were so loud that I couldn't hear the two-way radio because they didn't have helmet speakers. So he's yelling at me over the intercom. I'm like, what the hell is he even yelling at me about? I could tell he's yelling at me, but I don't know what he's yelling at me about. Plus, how can you judge someone? Imagine this. You're driving 120 miles an hour, and you're looking in your mirror at the person behind you and judging them based on your mirror. How do you adequately judge someone while you're driving fast in a mirror?
That is one thing I didn't like about the program. They're not in the car with you. It's just radio. So there's a leader instructor, and you're with like probably 6 other cars or so. So you each take a turn behind the lead car, but yeah, I'm not sure how they keep track of everybody. So
the one guy on there says what Bits and Kibbles said that he bought a 17 Grand Sport. Do they still give discount for the Ron Fellows?
I believe so. I haven't heard otherwise. So yeah, it's definitely worth it with the discount.
Well, it's worth it to anybody that hasn't had track time too, and a Corvette to top it all off. I mean, I know, Tom, you were complaining a lot about it because of the fact that you needed a next level class almost, or something like that, where they're not teaching you the real basics. But a lot of these guys, it's a great way to start,
Yeah, and it should be noted that they do offer different levels. The Corvette driving school, as it's named, is a school designed for people that just bought their Corvette. Now, me personally, I've owned a Corvette for years. Now, granted, it's a C6, but I know how to drive on a track. Now, I did learn a lot, but for the most part, these are people that never been on a track, never aggressively driven their Corvette, other than in a straight line. And I see it being of value to some people. So there were some things that were learned, certainly. I definitely became a better driver. Like I learned, I think one of my biggest takeaways was the ability to drive or actually steer the vehicle with your throttle.
Trail braking.
Yeah, so that was very, very interesting. It's something that I've applied to my track driving since, but they offer additional levels, and it's definitely something I would be interested in the future. Granted, it is an absorbent amount of money, but I definitely needed that next level of instruction because I I was getting kind of aggravated in the beginning because it was just like, here's how you use the clutch. Here's how you steer. And then we did this stupid exercise where we literally had to, they put a blinder, a windshield blinder, and you could not see out the front of the car. You had to use your side windows. And it's not that I couldn't see, is I couldn't memorize the course. And I got lost so bad where the guy's like, no, Tom, you're all wrong. Just get back in line.
That was one of the weirdest things I ever heard. I've heard a lot of different techniques for, building your skills. Closing the windshield off was a very unique one. I've never heard that until that day.
Well, they're forcing you to look out your side windows, but it's dumb. I just don't. And, I just don't get it. And there's excellent instructors there. The senior instructor, he's a great guy. I did have an issue with some of the people underneath of him, the younger kids. They had some attitude issues for sure. I mean, it was very apparent. I don't know if it was just me, but yeah, it was.
Let's see, Tom. You get bad comments. You get kicked out of tracks.
I did not. I've never been kicked off of a track.
He's the excitement. He's the excitement of our group. So going back real quick is that question, what Bits was saying about, doing the track, doing the Ron Fellows. If it, just my opinion is if they don't give you the discount, look at your local tracks. If you're near a track, there's always some sort of racing school or something that's very similar to Ron Fellows. You don't have to go all the way to Vegas and do all that, So you'd be surprised. I mean, like the tracks around me, they're always doing something. They have the Richard Petty School. They have the Mario. They have all these different schools. So. And they're all going to be half decent for a new guy. And I think that would be one of the best ideas to go out there and do that first.
And any other news topics you guys want to bring up? Alfa Romeo. I'm excited to see the Giulia and the Stelvio SUVs. They're still not out yet. They said they're coming out in January. I looked on Auto Trader, did not see one in the whole country yet. So, I don't know what's up with them, but I definitely interested in that brand and that car. I heard good reviews on the Quadrifoglio, so definitely pretty cool. And actually, my dad is interested in Alpha as well. So if I can get him to buy one, I'll definitely do a review for you guys. But yeah, it's
overpriced.
It's not really overpriced. They're comparable to any of the Germans. So, and they said it's really beats the M3. Car and Driver just had an article, and they liked it better than the M3. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm excited because it's going to be a more reasonably priced Italian brand. I mean, what other besides Fiat, which really doesn't have anything exciting there. And the one they do is a Miata. So this is made in Italy. It's a Ferrari engine in a Quadrifoglio. So.
Yeah, I mean, like even Tom was saying, I don't know what it is about the Alphas, but yeah, they don't look like the money's there. I look at that car and I'm always guessing about 10 grand, 15 grand less than what they're selling them for. I don't know why. They could be all carbon fiber. They can have all the stats in the world. They could be twice as fast as a Corvette. But then you sit there and you look at a 4C and a Corvette, and it's like, I don't see the money. I really don't. Beautiful cars. I mean, I love the styling and everything like that. But I have this synonymous of cheap with Alpha for some reason. And I don't know why.
Well, the 4C is very expensive, but it is, fully carbon fiber, the whole tub. And I'd like to drive one of them. I haven't, there's not really many around. I mean, they're very limited. And I would love to drive one. I know Subaru WRX fan drove one. He loved it. I think it's just one of those cars you get in it, and it's so raw, and it's so light feeling that it wins you over after you drive it. The price, though, it's like
that's
a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I think that's a car you definitely have to drive to appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not too much car news lately. Do you guys watch? This is car related, but do you guys watch Gas Monkey Garage at all?
I do not.
YouTube.
What's that?
I watch YouTube. I watch the Grand Tour.
No, I know of it. I don't. I haven't really watched it though.
So if there's any big fans out there, it actually got shook up this week. Aaron, the main guy, the bearded wonder, he walked off. He walked off the show, and they won't say why. So I don't think that show's going to be going very long. He is like the star of the show. So
I do watch. You ever watch South Beach Classics?
yeah.
So apparently that guy beat his wife, beat up, the blonde broad.
Yeah.
Apparently he beat the hell out of her.
Really?
Yeah, and then he ended up getting a new woman. And then he was posting photos and all this slander online, and there's a big legal battle going on between them two and now the production team that creates the show. So I don't think South Beach Classics is coming back. I always knew there was something going on with Ted Vernon. There's something about him, you know.
Shifty looking.
The funny thing is, I've driven past his place several times when I've been down in Miami, and I've always wanted to stop by. But now I'm afraid I'm going to get beat up by a midget.
Right. Yeah, he has a little bit of a Napoleon syndrome, it seems like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's terrible, but yeah. That's the one. And plus, I watch other shows too. Wheeler Dealers is I'm a big fan of.
I like Wheeler Dealers.
Actually, I've learned how to. I mean, I've got all 13 seasons, and I've actually learned how to do certain things on cars because of that show. It's fantastic watching those guys. But
no more questions here. I'm surprised.
I know. We still have 11 viewers, so anybody want to ask?
I think 3 of those 11 viewers are us.
Quite possible.
Pretty
How about what does everyone think of the white letters on tires? I know I don't know, put them on his GTO.
Only on Jeeps, I think. White every time I get tires mounted on a Jeep, I want the white letters on the outside. But that's just my opinion.
I do like it. I can't decide if I like it for my car, like the Corvette. I go back and forth, and I see a picture, I see it on YouTube, and I was like, oh, that looks so cool. But then I can't decide if I want them for my car or not. So I've been pushing Autonut to send me some rolling shots of it because I've only seen the still photos, and I would like to see how it looks going down the road.
You put so much tire wet on your damn tires; those things would never stick.
Yeah,
I know. I would have to remove that first.
Plus, here's the thing: I think white lettering looks good on a big tire, aka an off-road tire. When you got a low-profile tire, I mean, I just think it looks silly.
Yeah, mine was like border when I did this, and I did the temporary ones just to screw around. I was thinking, it was a cheap thing to play around with. And after doing it, the tires definitely, they're right on the border. And those are 30, 35 series, I think, roughly. And it would be nice if they were wider because I like the bigger letters. The smaller, like you get a smaller profile than your smaller letters, and you see them on YouTube, it just doesn't look right. But I like them. I think they're okay in certain vehicles. Biggest problem with my car is I still have all the sponsor stickers all over the thing from the rally. So I'm halfway peeled all those off. I'm slowly peeling them off in the winter one at a time. Once I do that, maybe in the summer. What's that, Tom?
I said a heat gun is your friend.
I've been it's been a battle between the two because when you get them too warm, then it leaves adhesive back. So it's like I've had better luck with them being colder actually because it sticks well. I don't know why, but if you look on YouTube, every single person says a heat gun. And I get it to a certain temperature and it starts to get sticky. So I don't know. Anyway, it's been I think when spring hits, I'll have all the stickers off and then I'll do a rolling shot for Car Guy there so he can see what it looks like. But I think it'll look a lot better without all the other stuff because it's just too busy. With all those other stickers, it just looks ridiculous.
How are you going to do a rolling shot?
Tripod. I did one with the tripod, and one I had my gimbal hanging out the window, which that didn't turn out too good, but the tripod looked pretty cool. Just set it up and just drive past it.
Gotcha.
Anybody watch Roadkill? One in the comments.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I watch them on and off, actually. I watch probably all those stupid shows because I'm into working on vehicles and rigging them up and stuff, and Roadkill's pretty fun. A new one I'm watching is that Diesel Brothers. I don't. That's addictive too. That's pretty wild.
Never heard of that either.
What's that?
I never heard of that.
They brought the SEMA truck there. It was an F-350. They turned it into a six-wheel drive, six-door, six-wheel drive, and it was proper. I mean, it looked like something that came out of the factory. It was pretty impressive, actually.
Not a fan of diesel.
Yeah.
Sounds like rocks in a blender.
It's getting a bigger following lately. I don't know why, but I mean, you see.
Yeah, because these tree huggers.
A lot of kids love the pickup diesels. I mean, look, you can't turn on YouTube without some kid talking about wanting to buy a big like F-250, F-350.
Oh yeah, because he wants to roll coal. Especially around here with West Virginia.
Yeah.
So, you know, we got some rednecks.
So it looks like that Bit said that he does get he still gets the Run Fellows discount. That's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I think even some of the V Series Cadillacs gets it, and
I saw that, yeah.
It's from Run Fellows as well, same school, so they
have a
just get it.
radical school too.
What?
They have a radical racer school.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And you know what else gets it is the Ford Mustang GT350, and that's a different school though, of course. But they're all starting to do it now. The Fiat 124 gets it. So they're starting a school. I think BMW has a school too.
500 and Barth did too, I thought.
You know, what'd be funny is Mustang. You know, they won't cover you if you break your car on a track. They won't cover any kind of mechanical. So what are they gonna do that everybody else starts doing these track, you know, discounts and stuff that have to like negate their own warranty? I mean, that would be an interesting subject. We'll see if they ever do anything.
So
they did cover that guy that this car caught on fire.
Oh, they did cover that one. I did see that. But that was actually, I think they recalled the oil cooler or something on the GT350s.
Yeah.
But for those of you who haven't seen the video where I busted the rear end drag racing my C7, watch it. But GM did cover it. Used the launch control feature, which is a mistake. And I warn people not to use it on the C7 manuals because it's really useless. It revs the car to about 5,000 RPM. You drop the clutch, and it's just either wheel spin or in my case, it just shattered.
I would like to state for the record that the launch control on my Mustang worked great.
Launch control on the Mustang is way better because you can set the RPM, and as I said, the Corvette you cannot. Although I have read the new Camaro ZL1, now they give you options of where to set the RPM, so that is much better. Although I still don't really like it. I think I did just as good times on my own, and I think you can learn on your own. You don't need that electronic.
I disagree with that subject. I think you need a launch control for sure. I think the key is, though, you got to be not afraid to slip the living shit out of your clutch, you know, because then you can ride that high RPM range a little while longer for a launch. I mean, you look, any of these guys that are racing manuals, they put a two-step on there, you know, and the two-step is the same idea. You know, it's a rev control, and they don't change that. They usually have it set, you know, like, I don't know, the one kid that I follow, he has a C7 Z06 or C6 Z06, and he runs his, I think, at 4,900 RPM, and that thing has well over 600 and some horsepower. You know what I mean? His two-step. So I mean, it's. I think
he doesn't have a stock clutch though, right?
What's that?
He doesn't have a stock clutch.
He did up until he got the two-step. He did both at the same time. He ended up getting You know, did he go with the twin disc? Yeah, he went with the twin disc clutch too. But you know, it really comes down to burning that clutch, and if you really want to get some good numbers, I think it's pretty necessary. But I think yeah, if you're going to drop the clutch at the line with good traction, as good as traction the C7 gets, that's its problem. It gets such good traction coming off the line that you gotta feather that thing a ton, and they should sort of warn you that. And then maybe that would be better if you're going to run it like that with stock, you know, street tires. You should be able to turn it down, I guess, the more I'm thinking about it.
The street tires should not be as sticky as drag tires. I can't imagine using it with drag tires. Unless
Well, they don't give. They don't give. They're not as sticky. But if you ever look, they want to run those 15-inch wheels with the big sidewalls because it actually gives. It's like flipping the clutch. So when it comes down to traction, yeah, I don't think you gain a ton. I mean, people are probably going to beat me up about this, but I don't think you gain like an absolute ton with radial slicks.
I think it just goes to show that these C7s are just not well built cars.
But anyway, GM does cover their vehicles or their performance vehicles for track events, like anything that happens on a road course, drag, of course, and autocross. So that's really cool. I took it in, no questions asked. They didn't even ask me what happened. They just said, yeah, we're putting a new diff in. It took about 2 weeks to get the part and installed in, but they gave me a loaner vehicle during that time. So yeah, that's one thing the Mustang, you know, doesn't have, and most other brands don't. It's just GM that I know of that covers on the track, so that is pretty cool.
I'll tell you though, when that Mustang launch control, when you dump the clutch and it picks up, holy crap! It is like it's almost like getting rear-ended. That's what it feels like.
What do you have it set on?
I experimented. I had it set at like the bare minimum, which I think was 3,600 RPM, and then I bumped it to like 4,500. I actually got better results at 4,500, surprisingly. But my God, when that torsion locks up and that thing takes off, holy crap! I mean, it literally felt like I got rear-ended. It was just
the torsion on that thing, you feel it hook up, and the C7 with the electronic, I don't feel it that way. But, I don't know if it's like more progressive or what, but I remember the Mustang. Like,
I've never heard the pronunciation of shit.
All right, Mr. C6.
I don't know. Hey, all the times I've launched my C6, it's never blown up the rear end.
You have sticky tires on it. You have like budget tires on that thing.
I have Hankook Ventus tires are not budget tires. Now they are quite bad shape right now, but actually,
anyway,
that brings up a great topic. My first world problems.
So there was another question that popped up asking about, does Pit Race have a school? I looked it up real quick, and Skip Barber goes there.
Well, hey Tech, yeah, he comments a lot. Yeah, well, Pit Race also has PDEs where it's about I think it's a half a day, or maybe it's 3 sessions, but they have instructors that will go with you for 3 sessions, and there's classroom as well. So I think it's around $270 or something. Little pricey, but it's definitely good if you've never been on the track before. And the track nights, the SCCA track nights that Tom and I do are not with an instructor. They are cheaper though, but if you're just starting out, I definitely recommend with an instructor first. So
just taking a quick Google search, finding that Skip Barber offers full-blown school there, and so does Lucas Oil Racing, which I forgot that they started theirs up a few years ago. So there is a couple options for a proper full-blown. The problem with those things is they're expensive. I remember Skip Barber, I think half day is like $1,600 or I forget. It's ridiculous, but it's pretty thorough, you know. And I think Skip Barber is accredited too, so you can actually apply for your racing license after so many courses or whatever.
That is true about Skip Barber. but very expensive, as Donut said. And I'm not sure exactly what the license gives you.
Well, if you want to, I looked into it because one of my pipe dreams is going to be, doing a little bit more proper racing, and it allows you to do wheel-to-wheel racing. Right now we can't. You can do HPDs, you can do all these different ones, but you can't do wheel-to-wheel. So that'll allow you to do wheel-to-wheel. You could do, any of the solo events, timed events, things like that.
Okay, gotcha. But all right, well, any other questions? Oh, one just popped up here. Oh, yeah, adding accessories does add weight, so definitely if it's the race car you're after, you want to be conscious of the performance weight penalty. So, but I don't know if any
How
of
long
you
are we
guys,
going to? We going to noon?
well, no, I was gonna say if you guys want to, if there's anything else you guys want to bring up, otherwise we could probably wind this down.
The thing I want to say about the weight savings, that's like a pet peeve of mine, is because people worry about like adding a speaker in the trunk's going to change, their car performance. You're not going to notice crap. You can race for 10 years of your life, and you're not going to notice the difference of 100 pounds in a car. I will bet my life on it. It's about driver skill and a lot more other things. So, when people sit there and say, "Oh, I took out the back seats of my car, now I can beat a 911 turbo," it just isn't the case. And that always drives me nuts when people worry about 50 pounds or 100 pounds. And, CarGuy and I have had some pretty heated discussions in the past about that stuff.
No, I agree 100%. Become a better driver before you strip
Absolutely.
the car. And first off, destroy the car and inconvenience yourself. If anything, lose a few pounds yourself. I mean,
yep.
That's the hardest kind of weight savings.
Become a better driver is, I think, the right way to go.
Oh yeah, you can shave seconds upon seconds off of a lap just learning how to drive better. Take 200 pounds off your car, and you might get a half a second if you're lucky.
I mean, I was down in Atlanta Motorsport Park in August, and I was on this track, and a couple Ferrari 458s came on. I let them go ahead of me because I'm like, I'm gonna slow you guys up in my Mustang. Well, you know what happened? I got behind them and I was on their ass. Like,
right.
I'm like, move! You're too slow for me. And it's because they were not, that great of a driver. They were scared, And the guy afterward even came up to me. He's like, "Damn, you could really drive that thing." I go, "Yeah, you were slowing me up, and here this whole time I thought I was gonna slow you up." And then I had jokingly asked to see if I could have a go in his Ferrari. He said, "Oh, yeah, it ain't going to happen."
Yeah.
But,
there's many stories like that I've seen on the track, a kid driving a Civic, that has some performance stuff done to it, and passing Audi TTs on the track and just stomping everybody's balls. And it's like, it's a Civic front wheel drive, but it's definitely, I can't stress that enough. It's driver's 95% of it.
And if a lot of people say spend the money on a driving school rather than mods, because that's going to make you faster than the mods. So.
Great point. Absolutely great point. So, all right, guys.
Yeah, I think that about covers it. Thanks, guys, for everybody watching. Also, don't forget to enter the giveaway for the LED lights. I'm probably going to give that away in the next couple of days. So and you want to, I know Autonaut signed up, but I haven't decided if he wins, if I'm going to let him or not. But he does have a Jeep to put them on, so that's pretty cool. But
another thing is, I think they go good behind a grill. I've been seeing a lot of people doing that with cars, like on the.
Yeah, I know, even on cars. So
I've been seeing that a lot, where they put them below, like the bottom grill, like behind the grill. It looks pretty slick, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an idea. We should do a live stream when we're together in Detroit.
And that's definitely possible. Well, I don't know. I guess Instagram doesn't do the multiple feed, but Yeah, we can see. We're definitely going to be in Detroit. I think it's January 12th. So look for coverage there, especially on Instagram. I'll probably make a video after.
We still gotta at some point we gotta talk about my car issues.
That's right.
I'm gonna need at least 20 minutes for that.
Well, we can do that.
Maybe that'll be part of the Detroit one because there's only so much.
I had a whiteboard all ready to go to help illustrate my problem. But till next time, I suppose.
Yes. But again, thanks guys for watching. Have a good New Year's. Be safe out there tonight. And we'll see you next time, next video.
Bye.
Bye.